On this channel, I talk about the Phoenix Suns a lot. I mean, one, they're my favorite team, and number two, they are the best team in basketball right now. And I made videos trying to say Devin Booker's an MVP candidate, maybe the impact about Chris Paul, Cam Johnson's impact, even Mikal Bridges. However, there's something that I haven't talked about when it came to the Phoenix Suns or even any NBA team that I've covered. I've never talked about this team's bench and how good they are because I don't think people understand in order to win a championship, you need a good bench. I mean, there are plenty examples out there. For example, literally LeBron James his second time in Cleveland. When people said LeBron James had a bunch of no names and then the top three guys with Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, they weren't kidding. When all three of those guys went out, it was basically just a high school team at this point, which is why we saw the Golden State Warriors constantly crush the Cavs. That Warriors team had a really good bench, and that's one of the reasons why they won the championship. Year after year, not only would they make sure they have their superstars like Kevin Durant or Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, all those guys, but they would also focus on the bench. And you know what? I don't think I'm doing justice to the Phoenix Suns if I don't talk about their bench and some other guys that are not going to get their own video in itself. With the season coming to a close, I thought it was honestly just right that I'd make this video. It would be completely ridiculous if I didn't talk about the Phoenix Suns bench at least once, because they have a lot of guys on their bench that if you throw them on any other team, they're an immediate starter and they mean a really big impact. Now, before I do get into the video, if you guys could leave a like on this and subscribe to the channel if you're new with notifications on. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel by the end of the year. Also, I stream on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every day around 5 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We normally just hang out over there and talk about basketball or watch Starman videos. Also, if you want to join my Discord, the link for that will be in the description below. If you want a chance to say what's up to me, or if you just want to be around my community, I highly suggest you join it. And with all that being said, let's get into the video. Today's video is brought to you by manscaped.com, but we're going to be talking about them later on in the video. Payne is someone that's had a very interesting NBA career, from some people saying that he was not NBA talent to now him being one of the biggest parts of this Phoenix Suns team. And I think a lot of Suns fans do know that while Chris Paul has been going through his injury, that Payne has filled the void. In fact, in those 7 games where Payne was in for Chris Paul as starting point guard, he's averaged 14.2 points per game with 9.5 assists, 4 rebounds in just a 10-game span. And while Payne had recently missed some time because of his own injury, I have to say that he stepped in right away and has been playing well. There are games where Payne will struggle shooting, or he just cannot put the ball in the basket, and he's able to make up for that by either being a playmaker and getting his teammates open for opportunities for good shots, or just being a menace on defense. I want to remind you guys that they got this guy for next to nothing to play with the Phoenix Suns in the bubble, and now we look at the fact that he got a contract extension in the offseason. There were some rumors that he was trying to find a bigger bag somewhere else that wasn't Phoenix, and I am glad that Phoenix did snag him because the money they paid him, he definitely deserved. I do see some similarities with Chris Paul and Payne, because Payne, like Chris Paul, will have those scoring games where he drops like 24 or 25 points, and then he will have those games where he drops like 4 points, but he has a lot of assists, which a lot of people believe that it's just Chris Paul rubbing off on the young point guards on that team. Before anyone in the comment section says that I don't know what I'm talking about and I don't watch Suns games, I am fully aware that Jae Crowder is not a bench player. I know he's the starting power forward of that team. However, I never really planned to make a Jae Crowder dedicated video, and I think he's a guy that we don't give enough credit for what he does for this team. The thing about Jae Crowder is he's not going to score the most points. However, he is someone that when he's in, he could get you a quick bucket or an easy 3. I've seen games before where the Phoenix Suns just start out and they will literally feed Jae Crowder and he'll make like 3 straight threes. He's kind of like that guy that's a vet and he's meant to be there to teach the young guys and all these other things. However, he's also there to win. If we look at his track record, he's known for playing for teams that are trying to compete to win a championship. For example, like the Celtics. He would play there, he would also play with LeBron in Cleveland, and then he would play for teams like the Jazz and the Grizzlies, and he would also play for the Heat, who would make the NBA Finals. And I think it's safe to say that Jae Crowder's home right now is going to be Phoenix for a while, and I think all of us are happy about it. Jae Crowder was not afraid to go at LeBron in the first round of the playoffs, even though we had the whole infamous post-up move on Jae, but Jae did the salsa, so I guess he got the last laugh. I like Jae. I think he can shoot when he needs to. I think he's someone that can get you a quick bucket. He's a vet, and most importantly, he's a very important part of the Suns team. See, to build a championship winning team, it's like a puzzle. You need the right pieces, and signing Jae Crowder was one of the pieces in 2020. No doubt in my mind, CP3 had the biggest impact. Obviously, I think we can all agree on that. However, Jae Crowder was also a part of that. My favorite pickup that the Suns made in free agency that I honestly thought was going to be a very important move was JaVale McGee to the Suns. I loved the move. This is a guy that has championship winning experience. JaVale is also known as a hype man. He's a guy that's going to get loud, and while he's not a starter for this team, he definitely does get significant minutes. When DeAndre Ayton gets in foul trouble, he's a guy that can go in for him, and he's going to do some damage. There's no doubt about it. Also, I think the debate about who's the best backup center in the NBA is not even a thing anymore because JaVale took that a while ago. Some people will still remember JaVale McGee for his Shaq to the Full days. However, I think he's lived past that, and he's on a successful team now, and he's one of the biggest contributors. He's had his moments, and as a vet, I gotta say he's done a really good job at leading this team. And by leading this team, I mean leading the dogs.
You need some dogs!
So yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that JaVale McGee does have an impact, not just on the court, but also before the games, and I guess you could say off the court. I do believe at the end of the season that a team is gonna try to offer JaVale McGee a spot on their team because this is a guy that you're gonna want as a vet. I said this in the intro, but some of these guys that are coming off the bench could start on any team in the NBA, and I think for the most part, JaVale could. He's not a guy that's gonna get you 20 and 10, however, he is a traditional center, and he's going to get a lot of good rebounds for you. This will be my favorite move that we've made so far this whole season. Other guys that I do want to talk about, but I really can't think of a whole lot to say, is about Bismack Biyombo, Aaron Holiday, Landry Shamet, and Torrey Craig. While I'm not going to give them really their own segment in this video, I just want to say a couple things about each player, and then I'm going to get to the rest of this video. While Bismack Biyombo is the third center on this roster, I have to say that he plays that role well, and he's definitely someone that I'm happy the Suns got on a 10-day contract. Also, shout out to him for donating his whole check to build that hospital. That's really dope of him, and it shows you the type of guy that he is. Aaron Holiday is a guy that we got in a trade for literally a bag of Doritos. However, I gotta say that when he's out there, he does well. I mean, he can score the basketball. He's just your normal bench player. He doesn't have the craziest impact. However, when he is out there, he can get a bucket or two. Landry Shamet we got at the draft, and I'm a little disappointed in the trade because we had to get rid of Jevon Carter, and I really like Jevon Carter. Landry Shamet sometimes makes me want to just punch my wall because there's times when he can just shoot the ball lights out, and then there's times where it looks like he forgot how to shoot a basketball. When he's hot and he's making his shots, I think Phoenix Suns fans can all agree that he's a really good player for the Suns. Right now, it seems like he's kind of a little bit on a slump, but he has started to pick it up somewhat. It's honestly just confusing at this point. If he can even be half of what he is, then I think he's gonna be just fine come postseason. And finally, we have Torrey Craig, who, fun fact, I have a emotional attachment to because he was a part of that NBA Finals team. I think it's kind of funny that these past two games Torrey Craig has started, and so far he's averaging about 17.5 points per game while shooting an astonishing 100% from the field. I will say though, when he did get back to Phoenix, he was on a shooting slump, and I think as of recently he has started to pick it up, and I think he's gonna be good. Now, before we end the video, let's hear a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Manscaped.com, the #1 brand for men's grooming and hygiene products. Now, Manscaped has a select group of products. For example, they have their Lawnmower 4.0. What I love about the Lawnmower 4.0 is that it has skin-safe technology and 7,000 RPM motors. On top of that, it helps reduce the risk of nicks and cuts. I've been using Manscaped for months now, and I gotta say, I'm very impressed impressed with their products, and I think you guys are going to like them just as much as I do. And guys, the amount of products they have is absolutely insane. I mean, they have literally anything that you need to get the job done for your men's grooming needs. They have stuff like 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner on top of having Manscaped chapstick. Now, if you guys do want to buy something from Manscaped, make sure you guys go to the link in the description below and go to manscaped.com, and while you're down there, make sure you do use code Spex if you plan on buying anything. Guys, that's code Spex for 20% off your order plus international free shipping. The link for that will of course be in the description below. Thank you to Manscaped for sponsoring this video. The whole point of this video was essentially to highlight the Phoenix Suns bench because they have something that I don't think the rest of the NBA has, and that's, well, the best bench in the NBA. Before I do end this video, I do ask you one question. As I've made plenty videos about the Phoenix Suns, I've started to learn the Phoenix Suns community, and you guys have put me on to Suns YouTubers. And one of those YouTubers is Ignorance in Basketball, who, if you haven't heard of his channel, you gotta check it out. This man makes some funny ass content. He talks mostly Phoenix Suns basketball, and he actually knows what he's talking about, but he's also funny as hell. I definitely do want to do a collab video with him, so if you guys could just comment in his comment section to DM me, because this is something that I definitely want to make happen, and I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna break Phoenix Suns YouTube.